today we are going to cover these things, string formatting. So there will be three different types of formatting in Python. So we are going to learn that. We are going to cover built-in string methods, and then we are going to do a couple of projects. So one is email slicer, and another one is reverse string in Python. Okay, so that is what we are going to cover, and these are three different types by which you can format string. So the first one is really very obvious. So if you have done any coding in C, C++, in that case you might have seen this first example. See, there is percentage S for string and percentage D for numbers, okay, integer type of things. So that was there, but it was in Python 2. Right now, the latest version of Python is 3.8. Okay, and this is the second one which we learned yesterday, str.format. This is most commonly used formatting, and that's why we learned that. But since Akshay sir told you about this f string yesterday, so we are going to do this as well. Okay, so the syntax is very simple. So there is nothing complicated over here. So yesterday we learned how you can provide the user input and how you can add into the placeholders, and you did a fantastic project on that. So a lot of people, I saw the output on the group. So you did a decent work over there. Okay, so like that, similar to that, what you have to do is just go ahead and use this third type of formatting, and this is the syntax. So what you have to do is, once you have two variables, once you have the value of name and age, what you have to do is you just have to add that thing. So this is a normal string, forget of the f right now. So this is the normal string that we were printing yesterday. So string, this is the placeholder, this is normal string, this is placeholder again. So but yesterday we were giving normal placeholders or the indexes of that placeholder, but with f string you can directly add that variable over there. Okay, so if you just check in the second case, that after giving the placeholders you are typing dot format, and then you are giving the actual variables, and those values of the variables are getting stored in the positions in the 0th or 1st index, right? So in this case of f string, so this is much faster because we do not have to deal with indexes, we do not have to worry about storing the value from variable to the other placeholder. Okay, so that is eliminated, that's why this is much faster, and this is how it works. So let's go and let's check whether it is working or how beautiful it is, why we and a lot of people are recommending this. Okay, you if you have your system open, PyCharm open in your system, just go ahead and start doing this third type of formatting. Okay, so I'm till the time I'm sharing my screen. So today I'm going to, let me share my screen. Yeah, so for today I'm going to create a new folder in which I'm going to store all the data which we are going to learn today. So that will be easy for me. Yes, is that. So why is a single quote after f? So single quote represents string. So it is a syntax that you have, see, string anyways you have to print a string, right? So f, it is indicating that it is that string applies some kind of formatting. Okay, so actually it is string and we are passing some parameters, so it will look for because of that f, it will look for curly braces, and that curly braces and the variable name will replace with actual value. So in day 4, I just created inside this. Okay, fine. Python file, and okay, this is my new thing. So yesterday what we did, we just took two inputs from user. I'm just doing it for one input, and what is your name, age is equal to input enter your age. So we have two values. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to directly print this time. I'm not going to print every value. So if this is indicate string, and here uh, this will be the name which I'm going to put is, again this will be the age, years old. Okay, so let's go and run this code and let's see whether it is following our last syntax. So those who are really new over here, I forgot to give the last single code. Okay, so yesterday, so just for the people who are very first, or you who are seeing this thing for the first time, for them I'm just going to give you the overview what we did. So we are doing the same thing what we did yesterday. We took name, we took age, but yesterday what we did is we used data.format, right? So data was this particular string. You are you are my name, and your age is this. Okay, just uh, keep yourself till this line, forget about this 2 3 and all. So your name is this, and what we are doing is we are formatting this particular string. Okay, so at the place of 0 we are placing name, and at the place of 1 we are we are adding the age. Okay, but instead of doing this is bit this will take some time. This is bit costlier than the f string. So f string is more faster, so that's why we are learning this thing. So this will give you the same thing, but the results, it will give you the result faster. Okay, let's go ahead and run this thing. Okay, what's my name? Shay. Age 25. See, it printed the same thing. Akshay is 25 years old, but this time it printed pretty quickly. Okay, let's go ahead and do the same thing. And it is not showing the time actually. If I would have, so I would have shown you that one, but just make sure that this is the same as the dot format method. The thing is, it is pretty much fast than dot format. Okay, so this is another way of formatting string. Okay, so are you able to see my Chrome? Let me check what I'm sharing and not. Okay. Okay, fine. So let me again come back to the PPT. So are you able to see my screen? The presentation I'm talking about. Okay, so we just saw, this the third type of formatting which we haven't covered yesterday. So that's why we covered this. So this is the third type. Just take a note of this thing. This will be really helpful for you for the next few projects. Okay, now these are a few of the things which we are going to cover. So these are for some inbuilt functions in Python, and which are really very helpful. So the syntax of this thing is, you just have to write the string, whatever it may be, and next by giving the dot you have to type the method name. Okay, so method can be up, count, upper, lower, and capitalize and titles. So I'll just show you. So are you able to see my ID, PyCharm ID? Right, so you are able to see my PyCharm, right? Just make sure, because I'm not sharing this thing. That okay, fine. So let me create another file for this. String methods. So here we are going to do a lot of we are going to play with this thing. So let's say it is a string, not able to see. Yes, so that's what I'm asking. Sir, PyCharm is not visible. Yes, so that's what I'm asking, because I haven't shared whole screen. Okay, so let me share PyCharm again. Okay, so now it should be visible. Okay, so I just created a new file. Yeah, so here what you have to do is, so we are going to play with some inbuilt functions that you can use along with string. So the main focus of this particular week is on string, so that we'll get pretty much comfortable with string. So in future, when we are going to go into the loops and the condition in object-oriented programming, so that time you should not be worried about this thing, how I did it and what is happening right now. Okay, so that's why I just wanted you guys to have all the knowledge, everything about strings. Okay, so with this, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to take a string. Let's say word is equal to normal string. Okay. I'm an I'm student. Okay, fine. So this is cool statement. Okay, I am a student. So what I wanted to do is, so I just wanted to know what is the length of string. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just directly going to print this thing. So suppose this is word. Okay, for length it is pretty simple. Word dot len. Okay, see this is the feature of this ID. ID will directly show you, sorry, length of word. It works like this. ID will directly help you with actual functions what are available with that particular thing, but it is not the case when you are going with normal editors. Okay, so that's why I recommend all of you to use ID. Let me save and let me run. Yeah, so the length of the string which I just I just added over here is 14. And let me again just try to do what else we have the count of letters. Okay, in I am student, so I just want the count of letter A, count of A, but in what? In the word dot count. Okay, see, it has shown that there is a function with this. So I just want, yeah, so what I want is from word I want the count of letter A. So let's see what it is showing. Okay, so again I'm saving it and let's run this project. See, A is 2 times over here, so here is one A, sorry, this is one A and this is one A. So that's what it is giving me, the count of letter A. So see, there are certain projects, or while you are going to give coding exams or the MCQ exams on coding or programming, so that time these basic questions will ask you. See, strings are the mostly asked on strings. A lot of programmers or a lot of companies will ask questions on string because strings are very popular. Didn't get the fifth line. Okay, just I see what I just did. So there will be the question. This kind of question will come into your when you give interview for any of the company. So they will ask the occurrence of letter A in your whole string. So this particular count function, this is the inbuilt function. It is helping you to find how many times A is there in this particular string. Okay, so what we are doing is, this is the syntax I just in the presentation I showed you the syntax. So the syntax is this, here you have to type what is your string name dot count of this will be your function name, and here I am passing the parameter. So in word string, in this particular string, I just wanted the count of letter A. Okay, so I just run that program and I found that there are 2 A's in this particular function. Okay, in this particular string. So this is about count. Okay, so now let's move towards the next. Yeah, fine. Text file and count of some more. How to import text. So that we are going to cover while when we move towards the file handling or file operations in Python. So that is last part. So right now you should not worry about this. So okay, Nandan. Okay, so next thing what we have to do is, so these are few basic things which you have to check. So in Word, what I wanted to do is I wanted to make it uppercase. So all Word, I wanted to make it uppercase. So if I print like this, so every letter from this string will convert into uppercase. Okay, so let's just see, go and see this thing. See, I'm a student. Every letter is converted into uppercase. Right now, if you check, only I and S was capital, but with dot upper function, everything is converted into uppercase. Same is with the lower. Okay, so if you type like this, word dot lower, see this particular ID is giving you the references. So let me comment this thing this time. So for comment, what you have to use, how you give comments in Python? With hash. Yeah, perfect. So with hash you can give comments in Python. Okay, so I just commented the upper function, and I'm just going to execute the lower function. Sorry, I did it second time. Okay, So see, everything from this particular uh, string got converted into smaller letter. Okay, but there are certain cases where you want at least first letter to be capital, right? So generally string or a paragraph starts or a sentence starts with the first letter capital, right? Not all letters like I did. So this is not a right way of writing thing. So generally sentences are like this: first letter should be capital, and that's it. So rest of the letter should be small. So that's what we write sentences in English. So if you want to convert, or if you want to make it unique all over the string, if you suppose you wrote a paragraph and you are not sure where you gave right capital or small letters. Okay, so for in order to convert that whole string into a similar format, you can do, or you can use this particular function. This is inbuilt function of Python. So what it indicates, what it says, function is word dot capitalize. See, capitalize. So what it will do, it will convert only first letter, or let me just make it small just for the this particular exercise. So let's go and let's check what it is showing you. See, so the lower already prints what it's supposed to be. And if you check this output of this capitalize, so output of capitalize is this, and in which if you check the string carefully, I is small and that in output it is capital, and in string S is capital, but in output that S becomes small because this capitalized function will traverse your string by with each letter. It will check your every letter, and as capitalized does, it will just make the first letter capital, rest all the letters will convert to the small. Okay, so that's what the beauty of this capital. But there are cases, so there are people like me who love all the letters, all the words with capital letters. So like I did. So if you go and check my blogs on my website, so you will find every letter from other string, or wherever I want to give focus, I make that letter, or I make that word with capital first letter. Okay, so those people, so there is one more function. So what you can do is you just go ahead and use this word dot title. Okay, so title will do what title will do. So let's go and check the difference between capitalize and title. I'm just commenting the lower one because it is of no use right now. Okay, let's go and run this program. See what it does. It just make all the first letters capital. See, I is the first letter. It is only one letter, so it is capital. Am, from am, A is the first letter. It make it capital. A is only one letter. It is capital. And in yes, it was already capital, and it is there as well. That's what the difference between capitalize and title. So capitalize will do only first letter capital, right? And title will convert all the will convert first letter of every word capital. So that's what the beauty of this title. That's why I like this title. Okay, so this is about capital and small, and playing with just case and all. So this is not it. Okay, so there are some beautiful functions over here as well. So let's go and check that one. So if you want to play with the Boolean ones, let me share my screen again, the PPT one. Okay, so if you want to play with the Boolean, so there are a couple of other functions which will be useful, and these will start with isUpper. So this isUpper will help you to check whether the string that user has provided is in upper letters, whether the string is all the string is in low letter, whether the string is alpha or it contains only characters. Okay, alpha is only character. Is digit, it means whether the string contains only digit. See, this all the functions will help you to add validations. Okay, so if you check, the numbers will not be there in so if you are collecting numbers from a user, suppose imagine a registration form, you are creating a registration form using this Python, or you are just validating registration form, and suppose user is supposed to enter his age, right? So age will always there in digit, right? So in that case, in order to validate, you will use this isDigit function, check whether user has entered digit or not, right? And alphanumeric, this is ALMN, is it's basically checking the alphanumeric. Okay, so let's go and do some hands-on on this as well. Okay, so this is all about Boolean functions. Boolean methods. Methods that will return a boolean, true, either true or false. Okay. I guess for that, let me create a new file. And here we go. Yeah. So here what I'm going to do is, again, my favorite word is a, favorite variable, and I'm going to give my name Akshay. Let's check whether with the first thing. So what I wanted to do is, I'm directly going to print the, like every time I do. So a dot is what? So let's go and check is lower. Okay, so let's check whether it is giving me true or false. So basically this is all capital, so it will definitely going to give me false value. Let's check the output. Okay, so it is giving me false. Okay, so if I convert or is all upper is upper, okay, so it will give me a true value because it is all in capital letters. Yeah, it's true. So right now, see, so this is all about upper and lower. So if you want to check if it is alpha, so this is very beautiful function. I love this most. So this alpha, so what it will do is, so it will help you to find white spaces. See, so this is Akshay is all capital, all letters. So alpha will give you a true value. Let me show you. See, it gave you true, but when you give a space, right? So this space is not a letter, right? It is not alphabet. Okay. So for in this case, it will give me a false value. See, it gave me a false. So this alpha will help us to identify white spaces in your name, right? Again, go ahead with that user registration form. Okay, and you imagine that while registering to this training, you fill the form, right? So you might have added space, right? So after Akshay, if I gave space by mistakenly, so that space will create problem after a few time for creating your username and all. So if it is a website where you are creating username and by mistake in your username, if you provide space, in that case, this alpha will help you to identify whether all the letters are alphabets. If there is space, this will help you to identify. This is all about alpha. And let's go and check the digit. So suppose I create another variable with name b. So see guys, there is one thing which I wanted to tell you. I should tell you this on the day one itself. So just for the training purpose, I'm taking this a, b, and c kind of variables just for the better understanding. So is alpha help us to check whether there are any white spaces or not? Yes, it will. Basically, it will help us to check whether all the characters in a string are alphabets. So if there are any other characters like spaces or hyphen or all, it will detect everything. But for it also detects white spaces as well. So for detecting white spaces or removing white spaces, there is one more function which we will cover in next few minutes. Just hold on to this thing. Okay. So this will give you us alpha. So if there is one thing which if it is, I have a variable with number. So let me use the same thing. Suppose b is a number. So what was that? Digit. Okay, so let's go and check what it is saying. Int object has no attribute. Okay, fine. So these operations are only for strings. So I just missed this thing. So what you have to do is you have to it will just check the strings. Okay, see whether string contains all digits. So it indicates that string contains all digits. That's why it does this thing. Okay, so if suppose I do it like this, so it's alphanumeric. Okay, so if I wanted to al and al num alphanumeric, so this will give me alphanumeric. It is alphanumeric like that. Sorry, again this thing, right? It is giving me true. If there is any space or something like that, or any special character if you added over here, so it will give me a false. Yeah, so instead of that, if I do like, just like this, a at the rate 123, again it will should give me false. Yeah, because it is not alphanumeric, it is special character, right? So that these functions will help you to identify whether the string is uppercase, whether the string is lowercase, whether it is alpha numeric, it is alphabets, or whether it is digit. Okay, so with this we are going to move forward to the next function, next inbuilt function. Let me share my screen again, slideshow. Yeah, so next thing is finding the position. Okay, so if you want to find the position, there are two functions which are you have to find the exact position of a letter in any particular word. So these are two functions, index and find, that will help you to do that. Okay, so here we go. So for this I'm going to use the same thing again. So what what it does is, so suppose I have a word is equal to, this is the word, I live in India. Okay, so from here, if I wanted to check whether there is I present in this particular letter, okay, so there are three I's. You can find the occurrence of I by using the first thing which we learned, find function. But right now what I want is, I want the index of, let's say, E, word dot index of letter E. Okay, so what it will do is, so index of E is 5. So you don't have to go by manually 1 2 3. You don't have to do the calculations. Let the computer do all your calculations. So with this index function, you can find where this particular letter is located. Okay, so it will help you to do the next calculation while we working on an email slicer project or reverse string project. That time it will help you. Okay, so this is all about index. And but see, suppose I put something like the letter which is not there in this particular string. Let's say T is not there. So if I put T, and with this T, if I run this program, so it is giving me error that substring not found. Okay, so substring not found, it means T is not found. Okay, but if you want to do a good coding and if you don't want to show the error on the console, so instead of using index, what you can do is, if you are not sure whether that word will be there, so in that case you are not, you should not use index. In that case, just a minute, my system got hang. So in that case, you just have to use find. Okay, so in that case, you have to use find function. So find function will help you to find the current letter. If the letter is not present, let's see what it does. It will not give you error. Let's see what it does. See, it gave me -1. It indicates that this particular letter T is not present in our string. So if it is present, this find function will also give you, let's check whether it is giving me the right position of that letter. Fine. See, it has given me the right position of this N letter. So it is on 8 position. See, and one thing, string always starts from 0. This is 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. It is at 8 position. So string always starts from 0, and there are two ways to find, or there are two functions that will help us to find the exact position of a letter inside a string. So one is index and find. But index will give you error when there is no, it is not present, and find will help you to find the exact location. And if it is not present, it will print the -1 statement, and it will help you. Yeah, Suraj, you can ask question. Just type it in the chat box. Okay, so no typing. So let's move forward. So next is, if you want to remove, why there are two functions of same type. So you are asking about index and find, right? Yes. So see, so index is always there in wherever you go in any programming language. So if you are dealing with objects like string, So index will be always there. So index will give you the exact position of the letter, but find is the advanced function which will help you to find the position. It will, the work is same, but if you want to build a robust code which should not fail at any cost, so in that case you have to use find. So index will be was there by default. It was there in Python 2 and Python 3 as well, all the versions of Python 2 and 3. But this find is added in Python 3. So Python 3, see, when I was in my engineering time, so it was 2030 and that time. So Python was not that popular that time because it was not that much evolved. The time when they released Python 3, so that's when, not in initial time, so whenever they started adding new functions, cool functions in Python, Python becomes more popular. A lot of people started using Python. Okay, so previously Java was more popular, but that is not the case today. Today, a lot of people are moving because it is why it gives -1, because it doesn't find that letter into the particular string. So that's its format. That's how this function has added into the Python library itself. So whenever you do not found anything, that find function will return -1. Okay. So if you want to remove anything, like suppose, so this is what I wanted to show you. Let me again go and so I guess you are able to see my ID, Python PyCharm ID. So suppose I have a str string. Suppose it has something. No. -1 doesn't show the index of it shows, it indicates, but not in case of find or not in case of index. So if you go ahead with index of -1, it will not give you the last letter. Actually, there is no such thing called as -1. So -1 comes when you slice the string. So slicing is different thing. So I will cover that part as well. So that comes with slice function. So that is slicing property, which is we are going to learn in email slicing. So see, if I have something called as 000, then Akshay, then 000. So if I wanted to take only right letters, if I wanted to remove all the garbage value from the string, then in that case, you can use this strip function. Okay, so what strip will do? Just let me show you. Comes capital print and str.strip. So strip comes and you just have to pass what you want to strip. Suppose if I want to strip 0, that was 0, it will remove all the zeros from the string. Let me comment the previous code. Case sensitive, you are talking about this strip function. Yes, it is case sensitive. It will remove only the letters which matches with this thing. So right now I'm removing 0. So yeah, in Python, everything is case sensitive. If you change the variable name with word to capital word or str to capital str, so it is a different variable altogether. So that what the case in strings as well. It will. So you have to specifically keywords. Yes, all the keywords are case sensitive. You have to use those functions in small letters only. In capitals, it will not work. So what I wanted to tell you. So okay, fine. So in Python, so let's check the output of this thing first. Then I will share the thing. See, it the string was 000 Akshay space this, but since I stripped 0, it gave me only Akshay as an output because it removed all the unnecessary thing. So this is helpful when you are doing a program and there are a lot of garbage values coming in your string. So this strip function is usually helpful for removing garbage value. But if you want to do it like this, if you want something at the first place and you want to remove the last things, okay, so in that case there is one more function called as I'm just pasting it just for the saving time because we are wasting a lot of we are already ahead of time. So if you want to strip the left part only, you can use L strip. If you want to strip the right part, you can use right strip. So see this L strip. So right now I'm printing the R strip. Right part will just strip the left part, which will remove the left zeros and not the right ones. Okay, so which will give you the string from it will strip only left part. And if you go ahead and use the right stream, so these are functions useful in different scenarios. So see, this particular right strip trimmed only zeros from the right part. Okay, and this there is one more beautiful thing about the strip is, suppose you are taking input from user. Now somebody was talking about the white spaces earlier, right? So this is another way to strip the right white space. Suppose you are taking a name as an input, and you're just asking about name. Okay, I'm not going to write it. So if name, somebody is typing name with space, so in that case, see, I'll just show you. Print name. Okay, okay, let me run this program. Okay, so name it is asking me, so I'm just going to Akshay, then I'm going to give space and I'm going to hit enter. See, it has printed Akshay, but if you check, the arrow is till this, so this is not my actual so my name is if I check the length of this string which I entered, if I check the length, print length of name, so you'll actually see my name is 6 letters, and because I gave few spaces over there, see, the length is 11 because I have added a lot of white spaces over there. Okay, so that's why the length is 11. But if I don't want to do that, what I can do is I can trim this thing. I can strip, and what is the simple way to do is name dot strip. So strip without giving any parameters will strip my string, and let me use another variable over here, n is equal to strip name, and this m, and I'm going to print over here. Okay, and I'm going to print the name length of n. So my name is only 6 letters, so it should print those 6 letters only. See, what I'm going to do is Akshay space dot dot dot. Okay, so this is going to print only Akshay, and it's spelled over there, and its length is only 6. So that's what happens when you use strip without any parameters. So strip will help us to remove white spaces. Remember, whenever you are building an application which will take user from input, so it will, your applications will be used by different users, right? So some people might give the answer properly, some people will play with it, will add some white spaces, so your code should not break because of that. Okay, so that's why it's good practice to use strip function after every string you took as an input from the user. So this is all about strip and all the functions. Now let's slice string. Okay, so let's slice string. So we are going to learn, this is very beautiful part from string. So slicing string is really very helpful because string is an iterable data type, so you can slice string, and here is the example which I'm going to take. So word, so this will be the word which we are going to take going forward. Super excited word, and you can iterate or you can access every letter of this word one after another. So, okay, so if you know, the string is an iterable data type, and you can iterate every word, and this is 0th index, this is first, second, third, fourth, like that. You can go and check, and you can add, you can actually visit every element, every letter of this particular word. Okay, and how to do that? Okay, let's just first see how to access every word. Okay, so I'm just going to create a new file for this as well. Slice. Okay, so if I have a word called as super excited, those who raised hand, please go ahead and type it, what all your questions are. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to print the word of index 2. Okay, so I'm just save this program and run. See, at the position 2 is P. So this is 0th index, this is first, and P is at second index. So on second position, there is letter P. That's why we got P as an output. But what if I wanted to print this super keyword? So if you wanted to do substring, see, substring is one another useful task that any interviewer or any practical exams or anything, wherever you go, they will give you this task. Cannot see your screen, sorry. Okay, sorry. So see, fine. See, that's what you have to do, guys. So you just have to tell me PyCharm is not visible. Yes, you have to be alert while learning. I'm not sure which screen is shared at what time. So right now, what I'll do is I'll share my whole screen only. Okay, so you must be able to see my next thing, which is slicing part. So I took a string called as with a letter super excited, and I just printed second letter. Okay, I just wanted to find which letter is present at second index. And as string is iterable operator, iterable object, iterable data type, you can iterate to every letter. So if I wanted to go and check fifth, which is the letter present at fifth index. Okay, so just go ahead and run. See, E is present, capital E. See, so it just printed its case as well. So, but I just wanted to print only a substring. Okay, so I just wanted to check whether super is. I just wanted to print super. That's it. So, in order to do that, so there is one more way to slice the string, and that is the substring. So, if you want to go ahead with substring, so this is how you calculate, or this is how you find a substring in Python. So what you have to do is you have to use that variable name, and you have to give a starting index, you have to give the last index, and you have to give what you want to Python word 1.4. Okay, perfect, Nikhil. So you are already aware about that, but you missed the last part, that is step. So let me help everybody else to let me help all of them with all the basic things like what is start, what is end, and what is step. 0 to 4, I guess it is wrong. Wrong, you are not right. What is your name? Where are you? Okay, chat box. By default, the step size is 1. Yes, Nikhil, but this is wrong. The word will not be 0 to 1, 1 to 4. I just want super. So if I do like this, so let me take your example only. And if from word I do 1:4, so it will not print super because I just want the super word, right? See, it printed UPE. Okay, it is not printing super. Okay, so the way we saw, the first letter will be your starting index. So starting index will be 0. As I told you, every string starts from 0. It will be 0. No, 0 to 4 is again wrong, Manoj. Suraj, you are there. Yeah, so this is the simplest format. So that is the next thing. Let me share the basic thing first, or with the syntax. So this is short form, Suraj, what you type. So see, what you have to do is you have to give the first index and the last index till now. But so actually, if you see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Super is at 4th position. So actually, if you go give 0, 4, then it should print super, right? So by convention, it should. But if you run this program, see, it printed only SUPE, right? There is no R. It's because, so the last index is, you have to cover that letter, and you have to find the next letter, and that is, it will find the last letter up to particular thing. Okay, so you have to find up to this letter. Okay, so you have to traverse the string up to E, then only up to E, then only you will be able to print super. Okay, so E is at index 5, so that's why you have to put over here 5. Okay, and if you do go ahead and run this program, so you will find super is printed over here. Now here is a big small challenge for you. Now I want excited. Okay, and okay, I forgot about this one. So this last one is for, this is as I told you, it is a step, so it will print all the letters, so it will not affect anything, it will print super. But if I do like this, if I do like this, if I add 2 over there, okay, so what it will do, it will print the alternate letter. See, SPR, it gives space. So step is if you want to skip anything, then you have to put it over here. So if you don't want to skip anything, if you want every word, you can give one, and instead of giving one, if you do not provide anything, that will also work. Okay. So now for you, for excited, no, no. So that is right, but there is short form, not getting the step. Okay, step is basically the step is what words or which thing you wanted to print. If you give step as one, it will traverse your string step one step at a time. It will go here, then next step is U, next step is P, next step is E. Okay, but if you provide two, it will skip one letter. So this is first step, and after and this is after S, this is U is first step and P is second step. Okay, it will directly from S, it will jump to P and it will print P. So step is, so we are traversing string, right? Yeah, 5 dot, Suresha, you're right, 5 dot whatever you printed. So see, so let's move towards excited. So if I wanted to print excited, so what you have to do is, you have to write the first word. The syntax is you have to write first index and you have to write last index. Okay. So the first index of E is 5. You can read, count from here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So 5 is correct. And you, if you are not sure, or if you want to print till the last letter, you don't have to count everything. If I ask you to print only excite, then you have to count till 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, till 9. Okay. But I told you to print excited, right? This will go till the last end of the string, right? So if you want to cover everything, then if you do not provide anything after this colon, it will be okay. Okay, let's go ahead and run this thing. So it has printed all excited over here. Okay. Okay, so this is all about trimming or finding substring from a big string. Okay, but now let's move forward and let's do something really crazy over here. And so the challenge you already covered. So you find excited. Now let's move towards the project. Okay, so actually the project is a reverse string. Okay, so somebody asked me about the -1, right? So if you go ahead and give the -1, you are absolutely right. If you provide, this is an index actually. Okay, so -1 will print the index of the last letter. Okay, so word of -1, if you run, it will print the last letter of this string. Okay, -1. So this is if you want to traverse from left hand side to right hand side, you can give positive number. If you want to traverse from right hand side to left hand side, you can give minus number. If you wanted to print this T, what I can do is I can give 3. Okay, -3 will print T for me. Okay, yes, it has printed T for me. But as if in a forward way it starts from 0, but in reverse way it starts from -1. Okay. So, but the main thing is, if I wanted to bring the string in reverse order, totally reverse. So I don't want to find the last index of the string and then come towards the first index. I just wanted to print all string, but in reverse way. Anybody knows how to do that? Yes. Now this is quite difficult. Okay. So just try your luck. So whatever you understand till now, just tell me how to find the reverse string in Python. Yes, anybody? Okay. No. Suresh, not right. So you actually gave -1 string dot reverse. The reverse function is different one. We are actually just playing with. We are not using any inbuilt function. We just want to play slicing. Yeah. So Varsha is right actually. So what you have to do is, so I'll explain you what you have to do. See this -1 dot 0 dot, this should also work, but 0 is not the right word. Let's go and print what Suraj did over here. Okay, the way Suraj printed, so -1, it will I guess it will not print the right output. See, so I don't know what it did, but it is just messy. So I don't want to do that. So let me remove this first thing and let me put it blank. Okay. So this is first string. First string is blank, so I don't want to put anything first, anything last. And I'm going to give -1. So -1 will, what it will do, I told you, this is the step, right? If you give step 1, it will traverse from here, it will check next letter, it will check again next letter, it will check again next letter, right? So if you give 2 over here, it will start from here, 2 is positive, right? It will start from here, it will skip 1 letter, it will traverse to the next letter. But if I give -1 over here, it will start from here, okay? It will start from here, and then again it will start printing first D, then E, then like this. S is not printing. You're talking about talking about -1, this, Suresha, sorry. Yeah, so yeah, yes, it's printed. So but the way he did, right? So -1, he gave the -1, and that time S was not printing. That's what you said, right? Okay, yes, that's what you said. S is not printing because you gave you started from -1, so start letter will be here, and you ended. So this is not 0, this is 1 actually. So if you go from the reverse order, so this will not be 0, will not be the actual letter. So this is -1, this is -2, -3, -4, this will all minus, okay? So 0 is not the right word over here, so end will not be at 0, okay? So anyway, so we, if you go with -1 colon -1, it will give you all the reverse string. Okay, let's go and do it -2. So the way I told you, so it will, this is step, right? So this step, what it will do, it will print alternate letter. See, it has printed first D, then it skipped E, then it printed D, then it skipped I, then it printed S. So this step is actually helping us to print or to start showing the letters on the screen, okay? So if you put that, yeah, it will also reverse, but you don't have to give 0 over there. Since you gave 0, Suraj gave 0 over there, so that's why it was not coming towards the last letter. So if you want to cover everything, then you do not have to enter any number over there. So from -1 till everything, that's what it indicates, okay? So the way we wrote, see, so if you want to start from E and you want to cover the rest of the part, then you do not have to give anything. Or in another words, so if you want to cover this super, right? So super's last letter is till E. So in that case, so if I write something like this, where are you? Okay, like this. So I'm not worried about from where it is starting, but it should end at location 5. Okay. So if you are not if you don't want to specify, or if you want to cover everything till 5th index, then it's better to not write anything. 0 will not work in that case, okay? So that's why we when we added 0, it printed a wrong letter, wrong string, okay? It removed S from there. Okay, so that's it all about this thing. But let's move towards actual project. So that is email slicer. Now, so are you excited? So are you excited to learn that email slicer? So we covered all the slicing part from email, so from strings, indexes, and all. So now we are going to get on a real work. So that is slicing the email. Now, what is the use of this slicing? Okay, so what is the use of this email slicing? See, in industries, when a company, like a big company, like let's take example of Google or Facebook or something like that. So they guys do not ask you for all your details, okay? They will ask you just for your, if you buy any product from them, like let's take an example of Microsoft. If you buy a product from them, they will ask you just your email, because they know the person who is buying their product is also equally busy, right? So you guys entered all your details, right? But the the businessman, they are really busy, and they do not want to waste their time by entering their name, then last name, then email, then their company name, then their mobile number, and all this stuff. They are really busy. So there will be only one box of asking their email ID, okay? and from that email ID, the Google or the Microsoft who is selling them the product, they have to identify everything. They have to identify what is that their name. They have to identify what is their company name, and that's it. So from their email ID, they will capture both informations, and based on that, they will recommend that use this as a username. Use your first name, what is there in your email. Use that same name as your username for our account, and which will be beneficial for you. Now let's see how to do that. Okay. Okay, so let's go, and I'm going to create another file for this as well. Slicer. Okay, so for that, what you have to do is you have to ask user about his email. Input, we are going to take input from user, and what we are going to ask, enter your email. So user is going to enter his email, and based on that email, what you have to do is you just have to print. But this time, after printing the email, what you have to do is you have to find out a username. See, find username, and then we have to find company name as well. Okay, both we have to do. Okay, let's go and let's run this program first. So it is asking me for email. Email is Akshay Shinde @techamplifiers.com. So that is my email. So it has printed the same email which I typed, but I don't want that. I want, this is all about slicing the things. We learned a lot of ways by which we can slice an input. So basically email is a string, right? So I am getting this string, and let me take it over here. So from this string, what I have to do is I just have to remove this name. So this will be my username. This is my name, and this is my company name. Okay. So I want to slice this email. So this is what the email slicing project all about. So you have to identify the key components from the email. So one is username and one is company name, right? So that is going to store in our record. So I don't want email ID. Actually, I want email ID as well as in company for the records, but I just wanted to know who is buying my product. They, if you check the products of very big companies, they will not allow you to go with Gmail. Okay, they will not allow you to use Google email. Okay, so they will ask your company email. It's because they want those emails for the record, so that they'll identify whom we are giving the demo or whom you are selling the product. Okay, so if you want to identify the company name, you want to do like this. So for this, for doing this project, you have to do two things. You have to use two functions. One is the slicing, and for slicing, we actually saw we manually gave the numbers. We counted, right? So if you don't want to count, so there is one more thing which you can do. What you can do is, instead of counting the number, see, for in this particular email, so counting this dot, what I want to do is basically I want to separate this name and this particular name. So there are two identifiers. I can see if I split it across @ I'll get a name, and if I split it across @ and dot, I'll get in my company name, right? So in order to do that, but why I should go and find out where is dot, right? I don't want to do that. So what I'll do now, here the use of this particular function, the index, what we learned earlier 2-3 slides before, that index is going to help us. So let me show you how. So let's go and check print email dot index of @. Okay, so now what it will do, let me run and let me show you. See, enter your name. I just wanted to do it again. @fires.com, and here is the index. So my name is 12 letters long, and it has printed at the position at the index of 12. Okay, so since string starts from 0, so if I start from 0 over here, so a @ is at position 12. Okay, so what I'll do, so basically what I wanted to do is email dot index. Yeah, so that's what I did, index of at the rate, but I don't want to do that. It just gave me the index, right? I want this username. Okay, and in order to find the username, we just learn that slicing part. So how to slice this thing? So in order to slice, what we can do is, for slicing email, sorry, email square brackets. In square brackets, we have to write the number. Okay, so now I know anyways I'm going to start from 0. Okay, so I'm not going to give anything. After colon, I have to give the index or the number of index of at the rate where at the rate is present. But instead of manually going and finding at the rate, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this function which I already discovered, and remove this print over here. So after this, I'm going to print this thing. Now this email dot index of at the rate will give me a number, and this number will again pass to this slicing function, email slice from starting to this particular number, and it will give me my username. Let's check whether it is giving or not. Let's run it, and let me again provide my username, the red tech family com. See, this is my email ID, it just printed, and this is my username. So it has printed everything right. Now, next is your task. You have to find my company name. Now it's your challenge. Now, since you learned a couple of things, so I just want the statement. Let me take it out. X. So let me assign to a variable, so it will give me a nice look. So this is this, and then I'll print username over here. Okay, so this will give me username. Now your task is to find my company name. Okay, so now tell me, what is my company name? So this will be basically email. In bracket, I have to give 2 indexes. So now you have to tell me into the chat box, so what is that other, what is the first index and what is the last index, and how I can take out only this company name from my email ID, or let's say for any email ID. So right now, since I'm considering my email ID, so I know exactly where dot is at 12 location at the rate, and I guess at 17 or 18 location there is dot. But in another, if somebody else come to my website and register with his email, so his name is like a dot or something like that, right? So it may be only Akshay at the rate techamplifiers.com, or it may be at like only Akshay at the rate ta.com. It can be anything, or it can be any other company. Okay, so that's why you should not always rely on numbers. Okay, so that's why you have to use this method, and you have to do the operations. So just go and find it out. Till the time I'm going to pause the share. So just find out, try to answer. I'll make some I'll prepare the quiz for you till the time you are finding the answer. Okay, are you getting the answers? Anybody shared in the chat box? So you are trying, right? Give me like the index of I. So Nandani, you are almost there. Suraj there. Okay, a lot of people shared the answers, and I guess you already knew you are well right on a track and you are understanding what is happening, right? Okay, so that is the right thing which we just printed. Okay, let's get back to the work and let's show you, let me show you the output. What is that? So as Suraj and Shresha, and where is that other message? Okay, Nandani also tried. Well tried, everybody. So what you have to do is you have to give the first index. First index will start from the at the rate. No, so there is mistake, guys. So there is a mistake. So at the rate, so you're trying to print at the rate as well. So that's what is happening. You're wrong. So let me show you what you did. So at the rate colon, haven't you tried in the so I guess you should have tried this thing. So if I do like that, I at the rate will also print into the, because it is considering the index of that, right? So index of that will print the at the rate as well. Internet is slowing down. Okay, fine. Connect again. I'm here. Okay, so let me show you what you did and let me print it over here. Yes, your email Akshay Shinde at the rate techfamily.com. Okay. See, it has printed my it is printed my company name, but at the rate is also there. So what you have to do is you have to do addition over here. You have to add one. Yeah, plus one. Suraj, you are absolutely right. You have to add one over here, and then only you will get the right output. So this is what is missing. So you haven't think. So we learned addition as well. So plus operator we learned yesterday. So that you have to use over here. So see, I'm running the latest code at the rate techamplifiers.com. See, it has printed my username correctly. It has printed my company name exact what I have entered into here. Okay, not getting served. What is that you are not understanding, Abhishek? See, we'll go through this thing again. See, what we just did is we took an input, explain the 10th. Okay, fine. Okay, perfect. So you understood that if you want to find find the print the username, what you have to do is you have to give index, right? So email of this is first index colon last index. Okay, so what we did, since we know we have to start from first, we haven't did anything, and since we know the last we have to end at e, but in order to go to in order to print e, we have to go up to at the rate. Okay, so that's why we took index of a. Okay, but in case of my company name, in case of a company name, what you have to do is first letter will be t, right? So you have to find the index of t, but you are not sure what the end user is going to enter. So it might be like aissms.com, it might be anything.com, right? So it might be google.com, it might be microsoft.com, anything, facebook.com. So you're not aware. So, but you're definitely sure they will type that company name after at the rate symbol. Okay. But if you give at the rate over here, index of at the rate, it will print. So start, the first letter will be from at the rate. At the rate will also include. So in order to exclude that at the rate, you have to add one integer into the index that you found. Suppose here you found at the rate at the position 12, right? So if you print from if you print like 12 plus index of dot, then it will print at the rate tech amplifiers. But I don't want that. I just want the name, right? So that's why I added one, and that one is printed over here. So that's why it's printed the name from not from this index, but actually from the next index, which is the company name exactly. So is it clear right now?